Hi everyone, we're celebrating the start of Euro 2020 football tournament, and for those of you that don't know, it was postponed from last year. We're celebrating it now because it's starting today, and we're going to make some really delicious pre-game food and a lovely cocktail to go along with that. So let's get in, kick off. So a tale as old as time, an age-old tradition, eating greasy junk food before watching a ball sport of some kind. In this case, it's football, but we're going to be making a bacon cheeseburger garbage bread, which, unattractive as the name might be, it is actually an absolutely delicious game day snack, or meal actually, because it is that substantial. So I've done a little bit of prep beforehand because we don't have that much time, but I'm going to talk you briefly through what you need to get ready to make this delicious treat. So I've got some mince, beef mince, that I've sauteed until lovely and brown, just in a pan with some oil on the hob. I've got sliced cheddar cheese. You can use any sliced cheese you prefer. I've got a burger sauce, which we're going to use right at the end to garnish our delicious garbage bread. I've got bacon and red onions, which have been sauteed together lightly, and gherkins, which have been blitzed up. I also made a kind of classic bread dough, nothing fancy, white bread dough, and that's been rising for the last hour so that it's ready to be rolled out. Now, essentially what we're looking for is kind of a really fat log filled with beef, cheese, gherkins, bacon, and slathered in sauce. And there's also some tomato sauce, ketchup, and mustard in there as well. So really, what more could you want? So going straight into our machine is our 15 slices of cheese. I've got extra mature cheddar over here, and don't worry about breaking them up too much. The machine will do that for you. And that's going to be grated, and then we're going to add in our sauteed beef. So just give that a little grate. And now we're going to add in our beef and mix that in, and then we're going to roll out our dough ready to assemble. So if there are any bigger bits of cheese left, just give them a rough break up. They're going to have another chance to be broken down slightly, or you can grate for a few more seconds. So beef going in, make sure you've drained all of the cooking juices out of the beef before they go in with the cheese. So that's going in, and with the aid of the spatula, we're now going to mix this together. So lid on, measuring cup out, and we're just going to say 10 seconds, reverse speed 3. Spatula through the hole in your lid and just giving that a good stir. Take a look inside, make sure you can see the beef and the cheese coming together really nicely. There we go. And now we're going to roll out our dough. And if you do want some more winning game day recipes, you can take a look at our World Cup winners recipe collection on Cookie Do, which was created for the Football World Cup a few years ago. And there are endless delicious recipes to choose from. So this is just one of them. Right, now we're going to roll out our dough. So we've got our beef and cheese mixture ready to go. I've got everything else I need that's going to go inside in front of me. I've got my dough, which is beautifully risen. Now I'm going to sprinkle my baking mat with flour. I would recommend rolling this out on your silicone baking mat because then it makes it much easier to transfer onto your baking tray. So your oven should be preheated to 200 degrees. And just have everything you need close at hand so you can move quite quickly. So bread dough, just kind of pushing out some of the air with my hands before I go in with my rolling pin. Just give you a slightly better view. Go. Okay, rolling pin. Really important that you flour your rolling pin and your surface. I think a lot of people flour their surface but not their rolling pin, and that is why you often get your dough still sticking to the rolling pin. So we want this to be a rectangle that's about 60 centimeters long and 35 centimeters width, and kind of, I would say, maybe a pound coin thickness or 2 pound coins. It's really up to you. There aren't any concrete rules, but I did mine quite thin for the one I made earlier, and I think I would have preferred it a bit thicker. So this time around, I'm going to let it be a little bit thicker. So once you've kind of got it into a sort of oblong oval shape, use your hands to just sort of stretch it out into the rectangle shape that you want. So give yourself those corners, because then you can quite easily just roll it out the rest of the way, like so. So there we go. try and make it as long as you can. I really underestimated the amount of filling I had for this recipe the first time I made it. So I'm making an extra effort to make this, basically to give myself as much surface area as I can to spread all of our delicious ingredients over. Go a little bit bigger. You can handle this dough quite roughly because it is quite hardy. It's not like a delicate pastry or anything like that. So this is sort of getting where I want it to be. I always say that when you're making something with a sort of more resilient dough, don't be afraid to get in with your hands. I think people are quite nervous about handling dough, but honestly, if you can see that it just needs a little bit of a stretch, whatever it is, go for it. So our whole team of 11 players are starving. So we're going to easily get through this whole thing, but I would say this could feed about 6 people comfortably, if not more, especially if you've got a few different snacks available. So there we go. I'm gonna try give it a go like this. Now, this is the slightly trickier part. Use your own judgment, see how much of everything you want to add. The recipe is quite specific about spreading your cheese and meat mixture on one side of the dough. So like on that side, like you're closing a book, one side of the book, and the other side is going to be your slices of cheese. But use your own judgment. I didn't use all of my beef the first time I made it. So I'm just going by eye because basically I'm warning you because of my own previous mistakes, which you will soon see, but I attempted to make a sort of double cheese bacon burger the first time, and I created almost like a monster version of this recipe, which, as much as we're all excited to eat it, probably isn't as like aesthetically beautiful as it could be. So we're gonna see if we can make it a little bit more photogenic on this occasion. So I think that's probably about enough of that. So as you can see, that's half of my dough. And now on the other half, we're going to layer up our cheese slices like so. So it does say to use, I think it says 10 more or 12 more cheese slices, but I just couldn't fit in that many. So I've done 3 and 3, and then I'm gonna do 3 down the center. So that's 9. There we go. And now we're just gonna take our bacon and we're gonna spread that on top of the mince mixture. So bacon, red onions, pure decadence. This is literally like a Big Mac on steroids, but there we go. So all of that's gone on. And then our blitzed up gherkins. I've also got some gherkin juice in my burger sauce, which was a revelation to me and is absolutely delicious. So I highly recommend popping that in. So there we go. And now we're gonna go in with our sauces. So tomato sauce, classic American mustard, and we're literally just drizzling that all over on the cheese, on the meat, everywhere. No restraint. Just go wild. It says 2 tablespoons, but really, I don't think anyone's measuring that exactly. So there we go. And now the really fun part, which is going to be attempting to roll this. So starting on one side, the shorter side, you're going to make your first roll and kind of tuck it in like you're tucking a little baby into bed, like really tuck that duvet of dough around your mince. And then do your second roll and do the same thing, tuck, 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 roll again, tuck along, roll again, tuck along. I'm going to move this back so it's easier for me to work with and roll once more. So absolutely fine if some filling's coming out, you can tuck it back in, you can throw it away, it doesn't matter, whatever you're comfortable with. I am just going to turn mine around because it's now on my silicone baking mat, so it's much easier to lift. And now you're going to basically squeeze the edges together, the ends, so that nothing comes out like that. And then you can tuck it up or down, however you prefer, just to kind of make those ends as neat as you can, just sealing them up properly. So again, tucking it together and then folding it down so that it's neatly tucked up. Okay, there we go. So slightly lopsided, a little bit fatter on one side than on the other. Nothing wrong with that. We all know the side everyone's going to be gunning for when you cut this to serve. And now we're just going to brush this with some water and sprinkle over some sesame seeds. Right. So this water is just going to help the sesame seeds stick properly to the dough. And then this is going to go into the oven for about 50 minutes at 200 degrees. And I would check it at about 25 and turn the tray around if you notice one side is browning more than the other, and cover it with tin foil if you do notice that it's over browning. You want it to be lovely and golden, but obviously not burnt. So sesame seeds going on. There we go. So now this is going into the oven and we're gonna make a cocktail. So now we're just gonna lift our garbage bread onto its tray, on its silicone baking mat, and then we're going to pop it into the oven. Okay. So this is more of like a teaser for a really lovely upcoming collection more than an actual recipe video, because this cocktail is in Sipping on Summer, our new cocktail and summer beverage collection that is out today on Cookie Do. So this is our rhubarb infused Aperol Spritz, and it's very simple. Basically, all I did this morning was make a stock syrup, rhubarb stock syrup, which is a lovely rhubarb infused down with sugar and water and a little bit of orange juice until it's really thick and syrupy. And you can really do this with any fruit you want, and there are loads of delicious fruit-based cocktails in this collection, so definitely check it out. But just for you today, we're going to give it a try on camera. This is the rhubarb syrup. You just want about a tablespoon at the bottom of each glass. You can plop in an ice cube or two. And then this is going to be topped off with Aperol and Prosecco. If I can open the Aperol. So there we go. It's going to bring some lovely bright summery colour to this drink. And now opening Prosecco on camera. Top that off, and Jack is going to come on and give this a try with me, and right after that, we're going to try the garbage bread, which I know Jack is even more excited for than the cocktail. Okay, Jack, come on. Euro 2020 celebration drink number 1. Oh, those are such a beautiful colour. And you can garnish these with a little spiral of rhubarb peel or orange peel. Jack?
Cheers.
Cheers. What do you think?
Delicious.
It is. It honestly does taste like summer. We should be on a beach in Ibiza right now. But instead we're here with garbage bread, which is almost as good.
Perfect for the summer.
Okay, let's tuck into the garbage bread. Here it is. This is the one I made earlier that I did warn you is absolutely mammoth, double the size of what it should be. But hopefully that means it's doubly as delicious. That's kind of what I'm going for here. So grabbing some plates for Jack and myself. Moment of truth. Are you ready? Are you excited? Jack has not eaten since 10 p.m. last night. So he is especially starving at 2 p.m. this afternoon when we're filming this.
Yeah, you can keep going, yes.
He's literally been hovering in the wings, just eagerly awaiting this moment. Oh my gosh, that looks, I'm gonna actually hold this up because that does look pretty phenomenal. Wow, yum. Jack, you have every right to be excited. Okay, going for a really nice big thick slice out of the middle. Oh my word. We're gonna have to now, a piece each. This is like a third each more for me, but Jack can have as much as he desires. Let's look at that cross section of cheesy deliciousness. Let me take this much smaller half.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. No, you take the much bigger half. We could get a knife and fork, but we're not going to, so.
I'll pick it up.
Wow, this is supposed to get messy. So I won't even apologize if there is food on our faces.
We'll have to wait.
Yum. It tastes like a winner's feast. Jack, who are you betting on to win Euro 2020?
My heart says England, but probably going to go with... No, I'm going to stick with England. We're going to win it this year.
Well, we all know who I want to win. Viva Italia. Enjoy the Euro 2020s, everyone, and enjoy this feast when you make it. Thank you so much for cooking with me today, and if you enjoyed it, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Thermomix UK and Ireland. Thanks so much, and see you again soon.